What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian Mello with Marty's Buick, GMC, and Chevrolet. And in today's video, we'll be talking about a Cadillac Escalade van, or Escavan, or Cadavan. Just when you think things couldn't get any stranger, smash that like button if you're new here. Subscribe if you aren't already. I upload fresh General Motors content every single week, so if that's something that you're into, be sure to tune in. Let's get into it. Real quick before we get started, GM OEM parts, if you need them, GMPartsDepartment.com's got them. Whether it's just a replacement tailgate handle for your old Silverado or new all-weather floor mats to keep your pride and joy clean this winter, winter is coming. GMPartsDepartment.com has all the GM parts and accessories you need shipped right to your door. Before you buy somewhere else, make sure you're getting the best price at GMPartsDepartment.com. All right, so for those who've been following my channel for a little while, you know this isn't the first time we've talked vans. In a previous video, we actually discussed the possibility of the Astrovan's resurrection, and judging by the more than 1,300 comments, and I think we're up to 350,000 views now on that video, the people are ready for that van to become a reality. General Motors, I know you're listening. Give the people what they want. Perhaps the demand for a modern style van that doesn't look like this old tired design that most of us think of when we think of a minivan is a lot bigger than we believe. In the previous video, we talked a bit about the van life movement and how it's seemingly been growing in popularity year after year. And honestly, some of those van life builds that I've seen are absolutely insane. The thought that goes into some of these would make the hosts of some of those HGTV shows blush. And although in many cases these van builds are budget builds, but there's also no shortage of high-end luxury designs either. So I started thinking, what's going on with the current van availability in the market? What's out there? So I started searching. And it turns out that General Motors actually showed off a premium luxury van at the 2019 Shanghai Auto Show. What we're looking at here is called the Buick Avenir GL8. And if you're wondering why you've never seen or heard of one before, it's probably because it's a vehicle that was designed specifically for the Chinese market. As quoted by Car and Driver, the Buick GL8 Avenir concept is an extra luxurious minivan with everything the executive needs to feel pampered. And looking at photos of this thing, they weren't kidding. That's not an understatement. The inside of the GL8 might rival some private jets, and honestly, I was a bit mind blown when I discovered this thing. Not just because, wow, it's a crazy concept, but because, believe it or not, the GL8 concept, although toned down just a little bit for production, became a reality. Now, as much as I hate to admit it, I think we can all pretty much agree that a luxury van in the US market with a Buick badge on the front and a Buick badge on the rear probably wouldn't sell very well. Although Buick has a really solid product, scoff all you want, they do, Buick often gets overlooked by consumers, and I believe most of that is just due to the brand still trying to remarket themselves and find their identity. After all, when most Americans think of a Buick, they still think of this. And that brand image, unfortunately, has been much harder for Buick to shake than I think they ever anticipated. Now, with all that said, if General Motors was to introduce a premium luxury van into the US market, what would be the best way for them to do it? Well, thanks once again to my good friend and extremely talented artist, Oscar Vargas, also known as WB Artist 20 on Instagram, because I think I figured it out. I'm going to leave a link to his Instagram account below as well as his online store. Make sure to check his Instagram account out. Meet the Cadillac Escalade van. We actually joked at the dealership trying to come up with a name for this thing, and pretty much everyone landed on either Cadavan or Escavan. I never said we were a very creative bunch. Let me know in the comments below what you'd call this thing. Oscar, of course, started with a current generation Cadillac Escalade in the sport trim and began working his magic to transform it into his vision of the Cadillac luxury van that we see here. The most dramatic visual change, in my opinion, of course, is with the front end, because we've got a much shorter one, typical of GM vans. We've also got a much longer wheelbase in order to accommodate the big power sliding doors while still maintaining what looks to be either plenty of storage space in the back or seating for the entire baseball team. Of course, if this were to become a reality, I would expect an interior much like what I showed you in the GL8 to be utilized in order for it to all make sense. Now, I know making sense is kind of a funny thing to say because the whole idea is about as far a reach as we can get, but even if the Escalade van was only made as, say, a bespoke vehicle for limo fleets or executive transport, I think it could sell. Or, you know what, maybe it doesn't even need to be that exclusive. Maybe the luxury SUV buyer would actually consider this if this is what it looked like. Personally, I think the minivan market died mostly because of the way they look. People shopping for big SUVs, in my opinion, are usually doing so for a few reasons. 1, they need the space. 2, they need the seating capacity. And 3, they absolutely hate minivans and don't want to be caught dead driving one. I get it. Join the discussion. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on the new Cadillac Escalade van or Cadavan or whatever it is we decide to call it in the comments below, and answer the main question for this segment, which is, of course, would you buy one? As always, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you made it this far in the video, please consider subscribing or at least smash that like button, as it really does help me out. Be sure to check out some of my other Would You Buy One videos. And if you're one of the many people waiting to see the all-new 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500 refresh reveal, I've got a link to that in the description below, where you can actually set a reminder to be notified and watch it live with me and all my subscribers on September 9th. That's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, and thanks again for watching.